Hi Year 4, I have your science lesson for today. We're going to be looking at teeth this afternoon, and first of all, because I know we've done a bit of learning about teeth already, we're going to have a quick recap of the types of teeth we have and their function, and that means what kind of job they have, what are they for. So pause the video, see if you can remember the names of these 4 different types of teeth that you will find in your mouth. Okay, hopefully you've remembered. So right at the front, at the top and the bottom, we have incisors. Okay, just next to the incisors, now they don't look it on this picture, but they're quite pointy, and they are our canine teeth. So they are just next to our incisors. We then have premolars and molars at the back. Okay, so let's see if we can remember what their functions are. So incisors then, now that sounds like scissors, doesn't it? Incisors. So we can remember that they are like nature's scissors for animals. So incisors are for cutting and biting off pieces of food. So if we imagine we've got a sandwich, the first thing we would do is we would bite and cut that sandwich, we'd cut into it. Then our canines, which are next, come to work, and they're quite long and pointed and sharp. They're used especially by predators to hold and tear flesh as well as to kill, because they're quite sharp and pointed. If you bite with your incisors, you would be able to kill your prey. The premolars then, that are just in front of the larger molars, their function is to crush and grind soft food. Now remember that the prefix pre means before, so they come before the molars. So they basically just hold the food and they grind them a bit, and then they pass them on to the molars at the back, which are larger, and they can really chew and grind down the hard food. So I've got a slide here with some different animals. We've got a squirrel, a rabbit, a fox and a cow, and I want you to have a think about what type of teeth might these animals have. What type of teeth do you think they would need, and what would affect the type of teeth they need? What would that depend on? So just pause the video and have a little think. Okay, so let's go through the types of teeth that different animals have. So different diets have different teeth. The kind of food an animal eats relates to the shape and type of teeth the animal has. So a herbivore is an animal that eats plants. Elephants, cows, horses, camels, sheep and goats are all herbivores or plant eaters. Omnivores are animals that eat both meat and plants. Humans, bears and pigs are examples of omnivores because they would have a diet that consists of meat and plants. Now I know some people are vegetarian and they don't eat meat, but their human teeth will still have the same type of teeth as a person who does eat meat, because our teeth can't just change that quickly. These are the teeth that humans have developed over thousands of years. And carnivores, finally then, the last type of diet, are animals that eat meat, so only meat. So lions, tigers and wolves are all examples of carnivores or meat eaters. So let's have a look at the different type of teeth that animals with different diets will have. So first of all, herbivores then. Look at the cow and the rabbit eating a carrot and the grass down here on this slide. How do you think their teeth would help them in feeding? So if they're going to be eating plants, what kind of teeth will they need? Well, they will have very sharp incisors at the front to cut the grass. Think about that cow constantly snipping away at the grass in the field, and the rabbit having to bite into that carrot. So they'll have sharp incisors, but then they will also have rows of very wide, flat premolars, because that grass or leaves or carrot, whatever it is that those animals are eating, still need to be chewed and ground down and swallowed. So this is a diagram of a sheep's skull, and you can see here they've got very sharp incisors at the front because they spend all day snipping away the grass, but then that grass goes to the back of their mouth, to their premolars and molars, where it gets chewed and flattened. Carnivores then are predators who hunt down their prey. So think of some of you might have cats at home, and they might even catch mice or birds and bring them home for you as a gift. So carnivores have long pointed canines, much longer and more pointier than those of humans, for gripping their prey, tearing the flesh and killing it. So if you have a cat at home or a dog, if they'll let you, open its mouth, you will see very sharp pointed canines, okay? So they do also have premolars and molars, but instead of being flat like a herbivore's teeth, they are serrated like knives. Now serrated means like lots and lots of sharp points. And this is made for shredding rather than grinding, because they mostly eat meat. That meat needs to be shredded, okay? Carnivores often have carnassial teeth, which means paired upper and lower molars and premolars, which allow sharpened teeth to pass by each other in a shearing manner. So they kind of match up like this, okay? And then it's used for cutting the food into smaller pieces. And finally, we have omnivores like humans, bears, pigs, hedgehogs. Omnivores, remember, have a mixed diet of plants and meat. So they need a mixture of sharp teeth for eating meat and flat teeth for chewing. So if you have a look in the mirror in a moment at your teeth, make sure you've cleaned your teeth first, it says. Have a look at the teeth. You can see now, depending on how old you are and how your teeth have, how many teeth you've had that have fallen out and grown back, you probably won't have your full set of molars just yet. So as you get older though, some extra molars will grow in right at the back. They'll come through at the back of your mouth. But have a look and see. You will be able to see your incisors at the front, 4 at the top, 4 at the bottom. You will be able to see 4 canines then, 2 at the top, 2 at the bottom. So either side of your incisors you will have 2 canines at the top and the bottom. Then you will have your premolars, 2 on either side of the top and the bottom. And finally your molars, 3 on either side of the top and bottom jaw. Now if you can see to the back in the mirror, you might see how many you've got at the moment. You eventually will have 3 on each side, okay, at the top and at the bottom. Right, so we're going to play a little quiz now, so you can pause the video, get a piece of paper and a pen and come back to me. Right, so let's play What Animal Am I? So have a look at this skull here. You can see some incisors at the front, premolars and molars. Do you think this animal would be a carnivore, like a dog, a meat eater? Do you think it would be an omnivore, a bear? Or do you think it's a herbivore, a sheep? Write your answer down. Okay, so it is a sheep. It has sharp incisors for cutting plants, as well as strong molars and premolars to grind and crush the food. This begins the long digestive process needed to digest plants. We know that teeth come at the beginning of the digestive system, and they start getting to work on the food so that when it's swallowed, it can be digested. Okay, next animal. Have a look at this diagram here. You can see some incisors at the front, some very long and sharp canines there at the top and the bottom. There are still premolars, but here we have those serrated carnassial teeth that shred. And then we have molars at the back. So do you think this would be an omnivore, a human, a carnivore, a dog, or a herbivore, a rabbit? Write your answer down. And it is a dog because it has small incisors but very sharp canines, which allow them to tear the meat off their prey like this. Their premolars, or those carnassial teeth, they have those sharp ridges to cut the meat further and shred it down. Now, I know most dogs that we own, they don't really go out catching their prey to eat because we feed them dog food. However, in the wild, if you think dogs descended from wolves, that is how they would have eaten. Okay, next one. Now, look at these two long incisors here, and then a pair of premolars at the front, and sorry, not a pair of premolars, some premolars at the front and molars at the back. Do you think this is a herbivore, an elephant, an omnivore, a bear, or a carnivore, a lion? Write your answer down. Okay, it is a herbivore, an elephant. So the tusks at the front of an elephant's head are actually enormous incisors. Elephants use them to dig and lift objects, gather food, and strip the bark from trees. They're also used to defend themselves as well. So let's have a look at your task for today then. You will find this worksheet in your portfolio and you'll see 3 skulls. One is a carnivore, one is a herbivore, and one is an omnivore. Now this is quite small, but when you open it up you'll be able to see a bit more clearly that the teeth are coloured here. So there's some blue teeth, orange teeth, kind of creamy teeth, and brown teeth. What I'd like you to do for each skull is I'd like you to label those teeth on the skulls, the different types, but I'd also like you to add why you think that animal, and don't worry about what animal it is, just think about the fact it's a carnivore or a herbivore or an omnivore, why it has those teeth. So for example, on this carnivore here, it's got a pair of very large canines. So you will be able to fit this on your sheet, obviously. I'm going to write a carnivore has large pointed canines to tear meat and kill its prey. Okay. Because a carnivore only eats meat. It does still have molars at the back to grind that meat down, and it also has these premolars, which remember we said they are like serrated edges like knives, so you could add that label there. You've got a herbivore here which has very sharp incisors at the front for cutting all of that plant material, and a lot of molars at the back for grinding that food down. And then you've got a human skull here, an omnivore. We have a mixture of teeth. Once you've labelled all those teeth and written about why those animals have those different teeth, there's just a few questions here to test your knowledge on what you've learned about types of teeth in different animals. Okay, see you later.